Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And probably because this meta is going to be so damn long, they decided to quote unquote take pity on us and give us Jubilee Blitz in the beginning stages of the meta, and then we'll get Jubilee Catalyst towards the end like we normally do. But this is actually playing pretty much like normal Jubilees, minus the fact that the boss battles are type neutral. So no specific element, you could use any team. But the normal stages are still going to be the same. There are no team restrictions. You can use EX characters, and you're certainly going to need to because the damage cap is like 5 million on each of these. So with that in mind, your team builds are going to be either what you need or they're going to be something worse. So I guess we'll just jump in with the disclaimers that disclaimer number one, your results may vary. You might not have the teams that I have, so you got to make do with what you got. Use as a guide, team build, use your brains, put your thinking caps on, and put some other support characters on that you think will work. Disclaimer number two, these are the characters used for protection gauge. These are the characters used for skill points. And then disclaimer number three is don't forget to go into your town and optimize your space building for Normal Battle 1, because looking at Normal Battle 1, you want a space nuking character. It starts with a 2 green, 4 blue hand, and it is an AoE fight, so you're going to have all 3 ants fighting you at the same time. So, space AoE character with the blues. There's at least a few of those you can get around. Alright, the first team, the max score team for Normal 1, is going to be this Divine General team. Certainly there are other options, which we can show of varying degrees of success, but this got the job done for me. It's a single target nuke instead of an AoE nuke, but hey, whatever. Elmesia, the hero, Diablo, Gazel, free to play Gobta, because this stage you can go to turn 5 and they poison you. So we're gonna bring Gobta to take care of both turn 1 and poison dodge. So let's go ahead and jump in. Okay, so the only thing is that obviously Gobta is not on Divine General, so he cannot participate in any of the orb changes or the skill points from Gazel, so his viability will be very limited to just turn 1 and turn 2. So we are going to weakness resistance down just so BLANC can hit a little harder there, and then we orb change with Gobta. We'll leave him in. You have to take 1 damage on these fights if you want to max it out. So your Gobta has to have some pretty good gear and dupes, and everyone else has to have good gear and dupes as well. If that's not the case, then just run it anyways, and you can still get a good score, just minus a little bit of damage taken. Not a big deal. But here, we're going to Elmesia, we're going to green buff, we're going to poison buff, and then we're going to again lower the resistance, and we're going to use Gobta again because we got 5 blues. We have to leave him in because we have to dodge the poison, so we can't really do anything on this hand either. And there's the poison dodge, and 1 damage, cool, and 1 damage, and more poison dodge, and 1 damage. So there we go. We've skipped over the scary part now, and because Elmesia gives us that enamor effect, that's 75% free ult gauge because there's 3 enemies. So it's not difficult to get an ult. But here, we're going to rewind. If you don't have the new hero, the light hero, you could try and get away with the space hero. The only problem is that's yet another character who is not Divine General. But since ult gauge isn't really a big thing here, the pierce power definitely helps, but the other hero would give us crit. So it's not that much of a huge damage loss. I don't know how much of a loss it would be, but if that's your only option, then yeah, just bring the old Space Master hero, call it a day. And then here, we do have to get rid of one of the ants, on turn 3, because if you leave all of them alive to turn 5, you're going to take -1 or -2 on the damage score, and it's going to piss you off. So you got to kill a few of them fairly early. So 1 ant has to die on turn 3, 1 ant has to die on turn 4, and then you single target nuke one of the other, the last remaining ant. We're getting rid of this specific ant on the left because it has pierce resistance. And if we're bringing the new masked hero, she's got pierce. So the other one has crit resistance, and the one on the right has guard power. So it's safe to nuke the one on the right most of the time. But here, there's the EX ult, so we're good there. We can alt swap away. We can green buff. We can use Elmesia to reset, and now it's like, how many green orbs can you get? How many can you get here? So, let's, let's alt swap, let's orb change, boom, and boom. And then we can just send BLANC away. Or we don't actually have to send her away at all. We're just going to try and kill here. So there's an ult, and then here's an ult, boom. And then this ant is going to die. Remember, we have to take 2 of them out by the time turn 5 hits if you're trying to max score it. But now, I mean, we should be fine, because we have 3 primary big-time buffs. That's 270 points, and we've got 300. So we're looking good. We don't have to use Gazel at all, because his buff sucks. So 1, 2, 3, the synergy, the ult, the pierce. If you have Raphael, you could use Raphael instead of BLANC. You won't have the ult swap, but you'd have the stacking ult damage, synergy power, and you'd have the space buff. So you could probably offset it. And then BLANC does 6.3 million right there. So there's my max score. We took like the threshold of damage to not get a score there. I think if we had taken 1 more hit, it would have been a -1. But there's the turn bonus because we're within 5 turns. There's the damage because we did over 5 million. And yeah, that's my max score team. Okay, another potential max score team is going with Exalted Champion Guy, because he's space AoE. We don't have the true like damage increase from the Protector, since Velzard's technically giving extra damage in water, but hey, it'll still work. Velzard, Exalted Champion Veldora is here for the green buff. We're not bringing Diablo on purpose this time, so for people that don't have Diablo, but we are bringing Isis and Kyokyo and Exalted Champion Rimuru. So we are offsetting the buffs in some way, shape, or form. And this team, if it's duped up and you get lucky, it can also get max score, because we're going to do it in 4 turns this time. It's just that, do you get pierced? Or we don't have the poison dodge here. So that's the only kind of big thing. I think if you were to swap Velzard for Octagram Demon Lord Guy, and you'd have access to the Lord's Ambition, and therefore you would be immune to the poison, then that would certainly work. So if you're really trying to max it with this specific team, and you have ODL Guy Protector, just bring him instead of Velzard, and it should probably work fine. Okay, but since this isn't my max score team, we're going to get poisoned. We're probably going to take some pierce damage here, so I'm not really truly worried about it. I'm just here to show you that Guy with the team build can also get the job done on an AoE nuke. So here, we're just going to send the 4 blues. If you have the big 3 all full traits, then that will get you access to Protector, Velzard, or Guy, whoever you're going to bring. But, you know, 1 damage, 1 damage, 1 damage, cool. We are going to get poisoned here. There's no way around it. And we also have the ability to ult rush, because Guy has that power. So we don't really have to worry about ult gauge again here. We're going to use the Veldora green buff. Cool. Velzard can then convert the entire hand. And this will get Guy's EX ult immediately, like pretty much instantly. These 3 greens right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, look at that. There you go. So not very difficult. We're going to have 2 ults next turn because of the ult rush, but that's why we have Exalted Champion Rimuru, to convert those to rainbows. But there's the poison. Again, you know, if you don't really care about max score, then you'll just take some poison damage. You'll lose a couple hundred score. It's not a big deal. So let's go ahead and synergy buff and attack buff, and then we're going to send Guy away, because we need to get a few more points, because we want to use the 100 points that we need from Kyokyo and Isis. So we do need to burn off 1 more turn, but these rainbows will ensure that, 1, we can get access to another Velzard, and we're going to be able to convert here to get all those points. The second skill from Kyokyo and Isis, not a big deal. We're already getting Drago from Velzard, so we don't need Isis' second skill, and we're not a Pierce-focused team. And then Kyokyo, he's got the ult gauge rush, and we don't need that, because we have our own ult gauge rush and Guy. And then the orange damage, like, we're not running an orange team. So those other skills are not super useful here. But now we'll bring Guy in. We'll use another resistance down stack. I guess we technically used Kyokyo's buff already, so, I mean, we're good there. But we can use another stack of the ult rush, because that also gives us 10% synergy resistance down on the enemy, which makes it just easier to nuke. And then Guy does 2.1 million across the board. We only need to do 5 million total, so we definitely did cap there. We got turn bonus because we were only on turn 4 this time. You can go to turn 5 if you need another turn to do something. So that's still on the table. And then the damage, yeah, we lost 277 points. Whoop-de-fucking-do. There you go, guys. Okay, so space, AoE, character, Primal Demon. Primal Demon Diablo. Not a character I use very often, but we're going to use him regardless. We've got Violet, who's going to give us extra damage against wind. We've got Misery. We've got VOC Jean, because of her 170% ult for Primal Demons. Well, 100 and then 70 for Primal Demons. And then the space resistance down. And then we brought the old Masked Hero for the rewind. And then we brought not Exalted Champion, but New Year's Rimuru. Mainly just to ult rush Diablo. If you want to bring like a triple orb stealer instead, that'll work fine as well. You don't get an ult for Diablo very quickly running this team without some other way to do it. You could bring VOC Rimuru for the rainbows. You could bring a triple orb stealer like Shuna, Hinata, the hero, Raphael, the new Lumi. Like, take your pick. I also don't hit damage cap on this team, so if you want to bring some stronger support characters, then you certainly can. We get close, but we don't quite hit it. And obviously, we have no way to get around the poison again. So, turn 1, though, Diablo can take care of the orbs, so that's cool. If you do care about poison, I mean, I don't know what you would do. You would swap Rimuru out for Gobta, but at the same time, I don't know if that's... I don't know if dodging the poison is actually going to help you, since the damage score is so much more important. So, take your pick. But send 6 orbs here. Diablo's orb change is good. And then here, I mean, it's okay. Not the greatest hand in the world, but it can work out. So let's go ahead and stack with Violet. 12% attack, also has the multi-use skill gimmick. Not that we're really going to use that here. But we're going to waste this turn. And we're going to just send these 2 hero orbs. That way we have, at minimum, the 4 Jean orbs, which we actually got lucky, and we got 5. So now, I can bring in New Year's Rimuru for Jean, use the rainbows, get 5 rainbow orbs for Diablo. And that's going to help us jumpstart his ult. And we can also rewind. And that way we're going to have both of our blue orb changers up front. The only problem is that the hero is not Primal Demon. So you're going to have to get a little bit lucky, but it is what it is. So stack there, boom. We'll send this. Since we are AoEing, we don't want to kill everything immediately, so after this turn we'll start spreading the damage out a little bit. But I do want to lower their health down. And then the rewind kicks in. And we get an okay hand, except for that 1 hero orb. So we can change everything, minus that 1 hero orb. So maybe you have to get a little bit lucky. Sending 6 blues obviously is a lot better than sending 5 blues, but it is what it is. There's nothing we can do about it. Even if you brought the new hero, like, she's not a Primal Demon, so it wouldn't have converted anyways. But now we'll switch targets. A whole hand of Misery Orbs isn't exactly what I wanted, but it still should be fine, because she didn't get her ult, and we can ult swap away Diablo with her. And then here, we can definitely make this work, because then now we can just bring in Jean for the hero and call it good. And I guess if there was some way around it, if some orbs fall your way, you could attempt to rewind on turn 2 or turn 3 and then bring everyone in. That way you would have a full hand of Primal Demon. That is an option for you. Just, you'd have to rework how you're going to run the team. Like, turn 2 kind of fucked me, obviously. But, there are ways around it. So now we're on turn 5. We have 300 points. It's time to nuke. So 1, 2, 3. So that's 100% ult, 70% ult for Primal Demons, plus the space down, plus the physical attack, plus the pierce rate, now crit and crit resistance down, 1 more stack of Violet, and now we're going to AoE, after we send, I think, 1 orb on, just like 1 or 2. I'm not sure how much she's going to hit. 50k, sure. And then Diablo does 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, in that range. So it's not quite damage cap. So again, if you have stronger support characters you want to bring that can get the job done, you certainly can. But, I mean, 217 is not a horrible score. You're still within the turn bonus. You didn't lose that many on the damage received. It's just you need to do about 600,000 more damage. So that is an option. Alright, the next team is Visions of Coleus, which has 2 single-target space nukers. Technically, you have 3 single-target nukers. You could nuke with BLANC if you want, which I think I actually do in this fight. But you've got a lot of power. Magic, a lot of alt damage, weakness strike, synergy down. We've brought Gobta again so we can poison dodge and convert turn 1. And then we brought Visions of Coleus Rimuru for the Rainbow Orbs to jumpstart, hopefully, our 2 single-target alts. So, it makes sense, and you do have ways around it. You can definitely do the damage. Whether you do it in 5 turns, I don't know, and whether you take 1 damage, I don't know, but at least you have the poison dodge, and you have strong nukers. Alright, so turn 1, green orb change, cool beans. You do have to find a good turn where you can reliably convert like 3 Jean and 3 Violet orbs with Rimuru to get, the 6 rainbows. I don't think I get that in this run, so maybe you fish for it a little bit if your BLANC isn't really up to the challenge. I mean, Jean's going to do a lot of damage by herself. She'll cover most of that damage cap. It's just that you need to cover a little bit more, I believe. But here, I mean, it's an okay hand. We do have enough points to where we can convert with both Rimuru and Violet. It's just not a good spread because Violet and Jean are the nuking characters. I don't want to swap one of them out here, but unfortunately, I kind of have to. So let's poison dodge. Actually, no, I don't have to swap. We just have to poison dodge. So we're just going to send 5 blues. So maybe there's some RNG for turn 2 where you get maybe a good Violet hand or something, or a good Rimuru hand, either way. But you do have to poison dodge. So, sorry, my mistake. We didn't have enough points for both orb changes. Here, though, sure, we can make it work. So the self-convert, boom, boom. Here, I mean, we have enough points to rainbow, but we don't have any Jean orbs. Kind of a problem. So we don't rainbow here. We're just going to send these 3. Hopefully we'll get some more Jean orbs next turn. We're going to take out one of the ants, because again, we're only going to single target nuke here. So, alright, cool. Thanks for that. Thanks for that. I think these 3 AoE hits already means that we get like a -1 or a -2 on the damage taken score. Not a huge deal if you're not worried about it, but just know that it exists. So, orb change, boom, and then we can bring Gobta in to convert. Since Violet has no orbs, we're going to forego her ult, so orb change there, and then we'll bring Rimuru in and we'll convert to rainbows. So we're going to get an EX ult with Jean and an ult with BLANC. We'll get very close, and I thought we were going to kill that middle ant, so that's why I switched off. But, it is what it is. We'll kill him next turn. We're not quite ready to nuke on turn 5, though. So if you had gotten a bit luckier with the rainbow orbs, maybe you would be, because you certainly have enough points to do so. But we're going to go an extra turn, that way we can get the BLANC EX ult and guarantee that we can hit that damage cap, which I don't remember the score that we get on this team, but I don't think we needed the EX ult on BLANC. And you especially don't need it if it was a Violet ult instead, because she would have had type advantage. But here, there we go, we took out the middle ant. It is what it is. So turn 6, we're going to lose some points on the turn bonus, but we will make up for it by just nuking and getting our full damage. So all of our characters who are damage-oriented are up front. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom, 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 boom. We can get another stack of Lumi and activate the synergy. Or 2 stacks of Lumi. Alright, cool. And then we'll just nuke. Since BLANC has the EX ult versus Violet, she'll do probably more damage, quote-unquote, because she has the extra EX ult buff as well. So Jean does 4.5, and then BLANC does 2.8. So yeah, you definitely... I didn't remember that she did 4.5. So you only needed 500,000 HP right there, which you probably actually would have covered from just killing the ants normally, because they have quite a bit of HP. So, I probably could have nuked on turn 5 and been okay. And we wouldn't have taken as much damage, and we wouldn't have lost the turn bonus, but... There we go. Their VOC can easily get the job done without any super big-time new characters either. And the final team I have for you today is another blue stacking team with a space AoE character, Warrior's Mind. So, Velzard, not giving us extra damage against wind, but Violet, especially if she's skill fused, which mine is, so if yours is not, you're going to lose a little bit of damage. But she's a fairly solid, serviceable AoE nuker. So she's got strong buffs, she's got her own orb changing. We've got, again, VOC Rimuru to kind of alt-rush her. She's the only person we're nuking with since she's AoE, and since she's AoE, we're going to bring Octogram Lumi, who is skill fused, so we get the AoE buff and the permanent alt damage. Guy can convert turn 1 with his triple orb change, give us the crit, give us the alt buff, and then Fount of Wisdom Rimuru is here for the orange convert and the physical buff. You could bring the Warrior's Mind Lumi, but her buff is not as good because we're not going to turn 8. So like I said, turn 1, we'll use Guy's orb change, call it a day. We'll bring Violet in. Normally, because she's a supporting character, she would only exist in the back, but we kind of need her ult, so she's going to be up front the entire time. Which is also why we have VOC Rimuru to do the self-converting on that front, and then the rainbows. So, not a max score team, obviously, because we took damage on both Rimuru and Lumi. Not a huge deal. We got a good Guy hand, though, so we don't have to do anything but convert. Not that we had points to do anything else, but it is what it is. Double stack of Velzard is 24% attack now on Lumi. Or not Lumi, but Violet, so that's good. We just need to get some rainbow orbs for her. We don't have an alt swapping character, though. Like, we don't have Warrior's Mind Rimuru here. So we need to kind of get lucky and get her EX alt somehow. Whether or not you burn a turn and get her more orbs, or you run like an alt rush charm or something, or you just get 4 or more orbs right here, and you can get her EX alt with the rainbows. I don't actually know if we're going to get the EX alt on this turn. So, self-convert, Guy buff, or Guy convert, and then we can bring Rimuru in. Does this get her EX alt with 3 of them? It might. It might. Oh, okay, that's how. Is because of the Lumi buff. There we go. So now we definitely get the EX alt. Yeah, that Lumi's second skill is so good. AoE damage plus the extra 50% alt gauge for all orbs. Like, it's real good. So, if we didn't have that, I don't know if we would have gotten the EX alt. We might still have, but I don't know. It's not a big deal now. It's just now we still don't have an alt swapping character. Now we have 3 alts. So, gotta make some concessions. We need enough points to nuke. I want to continue to get the stacks with Octogram Lumi. So Violet comes out. She's, essentially ready to go. And then we will convert, boom, boom. My Rimuru is skill fused. That's why he's able to convert greens. Normally you wouldn't be able to do that. So, there's a lot of skill fusions to be had on this team. Guy is not skill fused. I don't like his skill fusion, so I'm never going to do it. So here, really, really bad hand. It is turn 5, though, so, we could nuke now. But we need Violet to come up with Lumi. So we can't get that final stack of the AoE buff, which is not a big deal because we don't have enough points to get that anyways. So physical, we get the alt and crit, we get Violet's buff, we can do 1 more stack, 2 more stacks of Velzard. So this is turn 5, and then we're going to nuke with Violet, and maybe send 1 orb here for 1 damage. And she does 1.2, 1.4. 1.2 because that middle ant has crit resistance. But that's also not quite enough damage to get us damage cap. We're 900k shy, unfortunately. So, would that... Maybe you push another turn, you lose like 2,000 points on the turn bonus, but you would gain probably quite a bit by being able to get maybe another stack of the AoE and the alt buff from Lumi, and that would have maybe pushed you to 5 million for minimal loss of score. That's probably something you can do as well. But those are the teams I have for Normal Battle 1. If you used anything else to do this, please let me know in the comments so other people can see that. But that's it from me. Take it easy, and I'll see you all later.